What's up? And welcome back to Rehabilitation Revelations World. I'm Chase,
I'm Christopher.
and today we want to talk about our recovery experience, our day in, day out, kind of how we met, the people we met, and just really talk about how we got through it, our experience of getting there, how we got there, and what we did, like kind of the first day, honestly.
Yeah. And I know we said this earlier. I know this is numero uno for you.
Yeah.
And I hope that is what it takes for you to enter long-term recovery. But
You already know, man.
heck yeah, dog. Heck yeah, dog. But me, myself, I don't necessarily have that same experience, But I know I've been in the past. I've been through several detoxes, some 30 days, a 90-day, but this is the longest um, program that I've ever been in. It's more of a long term. They see you from the very beginning all the way until the very, very end of everything, and there's just man, the experience is, I wouldn't say it's the same kind of for everybody, but I know for myself and me getting there, it really took me to go to medical detox for me to even get there.
Yeah.
Because I know the physical detoxification from coming off drugs and alcohol, for me, I couldn't do it. I had to go to a medical facility, and doctors had to step me down off of said drugs and alcohol for me to even make it into a program type of thing. But I know myself. You saw me when I got there, buddy. I was rough.
Yeah.
Rough. And I was so beat up, man. And Holden, you saw me too, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I could not walk from the dormitories to the dining hall.
Yeah.
And I remember it was like the second or third or my second day there, you walked by me and like tapped me on the chest.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I was just hurting so bad. Everything just felt so bad
Yeah.
on me. And you're dealing with all these things without the drugs and stuff, that everything is like, it's hyper sensitized type of things,
Yeah.
like your emotions, you go from 1 second, you're way up here, like I'm feeling better. And then the next things, man, you're just in the absolute dumps, and you're meeting so many people, and you're meeting your counselors, you're meeting your, peer support people, you're meeting people in the program, and they're like, hey, whatever you need, blah, 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 this and that, it gets better. And you're like, bro, just shut up.
Yeah.
Leave me alone right now, dude.
Yeah.
It's everything in me right now not to walk out this gate right now. But I know for me, Chase, dude, it was really rough. And I mean, you went to a detox too before you had, came up there.
I did.
I did.
I
mean, how was that experience,
Oh,
bro?
dude, man, it was funny, dude. I jumped. So getting into whenever I made the decision to go, that my family was trying to make sure I would go. So I was, I packed my bags. The next day I'm there. I go to, I forget what it's called, but man, it was an experience I'll never ever forget. I met some people before we even that went to the same place as us. So I had met people before I came, but just the experience, man, I thought I was in a mental asylum almost.
Well, basically you are. You're losing your mind.
Yeah, just had to dress out, wearing those socks.
The
man.
grippy socks.
Golly,
The
man.
grippy socks, you gotta go in.
I was like, man, talking about just the feeling of how did I get here?
Yeah, like what's happening right now?
And just going through, coming off alcohol, I'm glad I didn't. I had very high blood pressure. My stomach was messed up, and
yes, bro.
I didn't get the shakes real bad. I kind of hit it a little bit.
Yeah.
Just because I'm like, oh, if they don't notice this, it won't keep me here as long.
Yeah.
But I had to stay for about 2.5, about 3 days, I think. Forget. But Yeah, dude. I went through that detox. I saw the gnarliest things
You
there.
get no pillow.
None.
Nope.
Dude.
And that little bitty thin blanket they give
And
you.
everything just echoes. Man, I had people coming in with meth, walking in my room and just freaking me out, dude, all the way.
This
is
your first experience.
Yeah.
You don't know what to expect.
Yeah, I had no idea. So I'm, not a lot of sleep. I just had this lady in there. She was freaking out. They had a freaking hit her with whatever the sleep, whatever
Thorazine shuffle,
whatever it was, dude.
I
mean, they had one ready, bro. This lady was freaking out every time she got up, dog. She was on one. She was ready, and man, it was crazy, dude. This one guy I met, I think you were in there right before.
Yeah,
and
that's when I had to go to the hospital.
Yeah, so I met another guy.
Like, we can't take. He's got to go to the hospital.
We were kind of the most normal ones in there, and so we're sitting there, and this chick comes up and sits on like a stool like this, like a gargoyle, bro, and just like, I'm like, ah,
oh man,
and just freaking out, man, trying to fight people. This dude's on the phone. She grabbed the phone and slammed it, like hit him with it, and just, man, freaking out, dude. Like the whole crew of those people had to like tackle her, man, like, and just put her to sleep. It was sad, dude. It was so sad. And all these guys in there, man, that were just messed up. And I was trying to fight through it so I didn't like get medicine like these people, man. They were so out of it, dude. I remember this one guy, he just looked at me and he's like, oh, the place we went to, he was talking about it. And I was like, he goes, so you're going there? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, oh, that's a good place, man. He goes, dude, I've never detoxed in a detox center before. And man, they put you, and he's just staring at me and he goes, and he sits there. I'm not legit. I'm over there watching TV and the dude's sitting there looking at the ceiling for 3 hours. Does not blink, move, or nothing. I'm just like, what the heck, dude? Like, they've got this dude so medicated that it is crazy. I mean, and so seeing that, man, it was honestly a traumatizing experience because I'm just like, where am I? No sunlight. I'm looking. So I get there at night and there's a little window in there and I'm like, man, I just want to look at some trees. Yeah. And so I'll wake up the next morning and dude, I'll try to look out the window and it's like you can't see out of it.
Yeah. It's like opaque.
Yeah.
It's got those.
Yeah, dude.
You can see the light coming in kind of. It's like dude, opaque. It's tripping you out.
Bro, I was like, oh my God. I'm like, oh my God. I was like, I just want to go outside, and so
you're not going outside.
No,
you got those 2 halls and then those metal tables.
Yeah, so I just go and I find me a seat and they let me watch movies and stuff and I sat there till I left pretty much.
Yeah.
And so I get out and immediately go where we're at and I'm going up and I'm driving, man, and my mom took me up there.
You're driving the car?
No, my mom's driving. My mom's driving me up, and I'm sitting there talking, and I'm talking to some people. I'm like, yeah, this and that. I really didn't know about the program, so I was like, yeah, I'm 30 days. I was kind of reading about it, and I read it completely wrong.
Yeah.
And so I'll
Your
talk to
mom's
you.
not saying nothing. She's like,
She's like, and I get off the phone. She goes, we need to talk. And I was like, what? And she tells me it's a 6-month program. And I'm like, what? Like, no. I'm like, no way. And we're almost there. And so like,
you're pissed.
I was pissed, bro. I was just like, man, I'm not going for 6 months. Like, yeah. I'm like, I got a life to live and this and that. And I got to, and just thinking all, destructively, man. We're obviously not turning around. So we get there and it's funny, dude. where we're at, you know, the gates we go in, I see the place, and this like sense of peace came over me.
Yeah.
And I just kind of realized, I'm like, and I was like, man, that's kind of, I'll tell you, in a spiritual way, it was kind of weird. It's kind of, I'm a lot more tight with the man upstairs now.
Yeah.
So, but it was crazy how, like, and I looked around and we were driving up, and then we get in, and that's when I met Jeff.
Yeah.
So I sat down with him and we're just talking, and I'm just in my mind, you know, he's like, well, are you ready? And I'm like, guess I'm ready as I ever be, you know? So I'll get out and pack my things, and it's pretty cool, man. You know, a lot of people took me in, but after I sat down and I put up all my stuff, I sat there and thought to myself, I'm like, all right, Chase, well, we can go this the easy way or the hard way. You can go out this positive or negative.
Yeah.
And I chose positive.
Yeah.
And so from that, man, I literally, I put it in my mind that, all right, I'm going to do this thing. And I took it and I ran with it. And I met a lot of, just my first couple of days, I met a lot of cool people that took me in. And, you know, it was still crazy because I started hearing stories about where the people have come from and things like that. And I'm just
what
like,
kind
again,
of charges are over them?
Yeah.
Like,
and in my mind, I'm like,
I'm not like this.
Where am I at?
Yeah.
Where am I at?
Yeah.
Well, how did I get here?
Yeah.
How did I get here? And you know, so like my first few days, man, I smiling, you know, but you know, after a week, I started feeling better, and but it's funny. There's a guy that we know. I hope he's doing good out there. But one of my friends, you know him. I'm not saying any names. He worked in the office with you, but he was a lifelong friend. It's funny, man. I walked around the corner in the dorms, and I saw him with Jeff, and I was like, "What the heck, man?" How we met up in a place where we're at, in the middle of Alabama,
in the middle of nowhere,
nowhere, and I was like, "Okay, man, this is gonna be all right." Now I got somebody I know. Holy crap! And then a couple of days later, you walk in, and I didn't really see you until I was out by the fire pit. You remember that? I was by myself.
You're so happy too.
Yeah.
Like, why is this dude so happy?
Yeah, I was like, and I remember, I was like,
I've ever felt in my life.
Yeah, I was like,
oh my God,
you're just dead to the world. I'm like, you want to help me build a fire? Like, you're like, I guess. So
sweat still pouring off of me.
And I think it was a cool experience, man, because that's how we kind of know each other. We started talking, and you know, we built a little fire, man, and really, I think we kind of clicked.
I remember
even though you felt so bad, man. Dude, I gained a brother that day, a best friend. You know,
remember, like, you know how the fire pit's kind of dug out a little bit. I remember like bending down there and standing up, and I was like, the world was going whoa, 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 whoa. I was like, what am I doing, bro? I felt so bad.
Yeah.
What, at like 3:30 in the morning one time?
No, we didn't stay up that late.
No, we got up that early and the fire was out.
Oh yeah.
You remember? Like,
yeah.
I think because it was one night.
Yeah. Sorry, I keep coughing, my allergies, but I know.
Got the black lung pop.
I've got the black lung. But no, it was the night. I don't remember, man. It might have been your first or second day. I think it was your first night, but it was it was starting to get dark early, so I know we woke up pretty early one morning, and I think we built another, you know, right before breakfast and all that. But yeah, either way, just kind of going with it. Just meeting people, man. Like, and then now where we're sitting, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's just the experience, man. Just my first week, you know, I met so many good, generous people, man. The people,
this guy right here,
holding in the back, man, and you know, he's one of the ones that really took me in too. I had conversations with you, Holden, and we'll get into those conversations when we get you on. But it's like the people, man, that they came from all these places, man, and would give the shirt off their back.
Yeah.
The nicest, most genuine, some not, but still it was these people. And I started real early. I'm glad because of my mindset, dude. I'm glad I went into it with a pretty good mindset because I started seeing things better. I've always been good at that and seeing people, and just being able to relate to some guys. You're like, you've been there, but you start listening to them, and you're like, okay, well, we're kind of similar in a way.
Yeah.
And it was cool.
Yeah.
It was a really cool experience.
Let me tell you this. I remember a guy, the guy showing you around at first or whatever. So we got like on the Polaris and we're driving around and then we come back in the dorms. I remember a guy was sitting with Holden and Holden's barefoot.
Yeah.
Like cross leg on his bed playing the guitar. I'm like, dude, what is happening right now, man? What is going on? Like playing this song, I'm like, so I'm gonna have to listen to this all. You already feel terrible enough.
Yeah.
I'm like, what am I even in right now? Like, but it was just crazy guys, I guess, kind of coming off the drugs that I was coming off of. They're like, oh, it'll get better. And it's like, I knew that, but it's just like I was not, y'all know, I didn't talk, did I say 3 words the whole first week I was there maybe?
Well, probably to me because I made you, but.
Yeah, and I was probably mad the whole time.
I remember I was like, we're like, the workout or something. It's like, we would go in and work out and you're like, 10 minutes, all right, I'm done.
I'm done, dude. I could not even do 1 push-up.
Yeah.
I couldn't even, like on the dip bars, I couldn't even hold myself up on it. But I'm just saying, as bad of a shape I know I was in, having those guys around you, like holding you that are forcing you to kind of do these things, man, it at the time is miserable and you're mad, dude. And it's just like, man, I would get so angry and I'll just start spouting off. Man, I start cussing. Y'all know. Just like leave me alone. Yeah. Type of thing. But that, looking back on that was so crucial, really at the beginning, to have those type of guys that they kind of understand of like, all right, man, like this ain't. He just don't feel good. He's coming on, he's coming off some things right now, like kind of, but they're still like, like, hey, I know you said these things, but I'm still going to talk to you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, and they coming and checking on me on my rack. Yeah. When you're up just feeling miserable, all those, and kind of being embraced. Cause like I said, it's like you get there, like you were saying earlier, like some of these guys' stories and where they're coming out of. Like you're coming from the state penitentiary, buddy. Yeah. You're furloughed up here. Yeah. You're technically incarcerated right now. Yeah. Type of things. You're like, what? And what charges? And these big boy charges and everything. You're like, what is going on? But to have that and really being able to relate with them, I know was instrumental in my first, because I didn't want to be, I was freaking pissed when I got up there, dog. I didn't want to be there. I was like, I've been to this rodeo before. I'm gonna do my time. Basically, it was like a sentence to me. I'm gonna do my time and I'm gonna get out or whatever. But it was something about that rub with those guys, like challenging, because you're challenged every freaking day. Yeah. With that many guys, dude. The personalities, people doing things. You're in there with 19-year-old kids that did 30 days in the county and think they're coming out of prison. They know something, type of thing. So those are the things you're dealing with. But again, if you allow that process to work and trust it, and it's hard to trust it, especially when you have trust issues like I do. Yeah. I'm sure all of us do. Oh, yeah. Especially coming there, like what's going on, and that rub, man, because really, I know it was a spiritual thing, but being open, not that I was open to it, but just allowing the waves to kind of take me where they kind of wanted to. you know?
Yeah.
And it was hard. It's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, man. And I did some hard things. Man, I've had 5 knee surgeries type of thing. And physically, and lost my dad, and you know, been through a divorce and lost everything type of thing. But this was day to day. At the beginning, it does get easier with time, but the hardest thing I really had to do, man. And I don't know how hard, you know, people said it gets easier. To me, it almost got harder because you're stripped of, you're not having drugs anymore. Right. You know what I mean? You're not having drugs to cope with these things. So you're really having to look at yourself with those types of things. So I know it's kind of a snippet of kind of, you know, where we've been and everything the first day. And again, we'll speak about this so much more, man. But I'm just glad I get to sit here with my buddies, you know, and kind of talk about this and be around some real people and just be honest and be who I am.
Yeah.
You know, I know, again, I say this, and I said it last episode, I probably said it a bunch of other episodes, is I know this isn't a podcast and we're putting this on YouTube, but man, this is for me.
Yeah. It's for me too.
I love this, man. I love this. I love getting to see. I would never do this if we didn't have something like this, man.
Right. That's like the thing too with me. It gets easier with life for me. It's to talk about it. Yeah. And that, like, it's the fact
to get it up out of you.
To get it, yes, because that's the thing about recovering is learning not to hold things in, to be honest, to be truthful, to be, and it's because they're living a lie. Yeah. And it's completely different because, you know, you learn to cope with those things easier, to actually engage better, to and figure out the right you. Because for me, talking about things is actually, I remember things easier. You know, even though sometimes they come out and they're the bad things, but it's like, oh dang, but that's where I came from, man. I got out of that, and now I'm, you know, this recovery thing's for life now. So it's like it just helps me generally to speak about it and to be vulnerable, because I've never been that. Yeah. I've been so fake in my life. I mean, I'm a real person. I've always been real. I've always been a good dude and kind-hearted and things like that, but I just did it the wrong way. Yeah. I was trying to give advice to people when I was doing the wrong thing. Yeah, and so how am I such a hypocrite of being, you know, so now I'm not, I mean, I'm still learning things, I'm still doing things, but now I can engage with people and be honest and know I'm telling them all right advice, decent advice, where and share stories of where I came from. Yeah. If it helps them, it doesn't. If it speaks to them, cool. But at least for me, it's a good beneficial factory for my life, and that's where I enjoy it.
Yeah, man. So. Well, man, it's always a pleasure to sit down here and talk about these things to you, man. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Holden, again, man, we love you, brother. We love you, man. So,
but I love you.
I love you, dog.
We love y'all.
Yeah, buddy.